Hello everyone, I'm Sarah of Rich Textures Crochet and welcome. Today we are going to learn how to crochet the Peekaboo Baby Blanket, which is the blanket seen here in this photo, and I'll show you a little bit of it here. This is the one that I have made. The blanket is comprised of a moss stitch pattern for the body of the blanket, and then it has a simple edging made with single crochet stitches and puff stitches. So this is a great blanket if you're looking for a beginner project. I love the moss stitch texture because it creates this solid, breathable, almost woven look fabric. So this is a great blanket if you are a beginner and looking for something to make for that special little one in your life. Now for this blanket, I have used the worsted weight Caron cotton cakes. So that's a number 4 weight on your label. It is a cotton and acrylic blend and has these color changes throughout, so it's a cake yarn. You're going to need approximately 600 to 700 yards of this worsted weight yarn or a worsted weight yarn of your choice. You're also going to need a 6mm crochet hook, and then a copy of the written crochet pattern, which is found for free on my blog at richtexturescrochet.com. Thank you so much for joining me for this tutorial on how to make the Peekaboo Baby Blanket. While you're here, please don't forget to subscribe. So to begin our Peekaboo Baby Blanket, you're going to take your worsted weight yarn and your 6mm crochet hook, and you're going to start by making a slip knot. The body of this blanket is worked in rows, so you're going to be working back and forth and turning your work at the end of each row. So the first thing you're going to do is make a slip knot, and you're going to start by making a foundation chain of 118 chains. Once you have completed your 118 chains, you're going to begin row 1. For row 1, you're going to start by working 1 single crochet stitch in the 3rd chain from your hook. So count in from your hook, there's 1, 2, 3, and in that 3rd chain, you're going to work your first single crochet stitch. You're then going to chain 1, skip the next chain, and work 1 single crochet stitch in the next chain stitch. You're going to repeat that all the way across your foundation chain. So chain 1, skip 1, and single crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, and single crochet in the next stitch. So repeat that all the way across your work to your final chain in that foundation chain. When you reach your final chain, you will place your final single crochet stitch in that chain and get ready to begin row 2. At the end of row 1, you're going to chain 2 and you're going to turn your work. Now for row 2, you're going to skip that first single crochet stitch, which is where your chain 2 is coming out of. So skip that first single crochet stitch, and then you're going to single crochet in that first chain 1 space. So simply in that chain 1 space, insert your hook, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, and pull through your 2 loops. Your first single crochet stitch is worked in that first chain 1 space. You're then going to chain 1, skip the next single crochet stitch, and work a single crochet stitch in the next chain 1. You're going to repeat that all the way across. Chain 1, skip the next single crochet, and single crochet in the next chain 1 space. This is what's going to form your moss stitch pattern. Chain 1, skip the next single crochet, and single crochet in the next chain 1 space. You're always going to be working your single crochet stitches into those chain 1 spaces. So you're going to continue that all the way across. When you reach the end of your row, you are going to work your final single crochet stitch into that final chain 2 space. And it's important that you always remember to work your final single crochet into that chain 2 space. Otherwise, your work will have slanted or uneven edges. So always remember, place that final single crochet into that chain 2. At the end of row 2, once you've worked that final single crochet, you're going to chain 2 and turn your work. So at the end of your row 2, remember to place that final single crochet in your chain 2 space. You're then going to chain 2 and then turn your work. Now for row 3 and for the rest of the rows for the body of the blanket hereafter, you're simply going to repeat that row 2. So skip that first single crochet stitch and single crochet in the first chain 1 space. Repeat that all the way across, chain 1, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, all the way across. When you come to the end of your row, single crochet in that final chain 2 space, and then chain 2 and turn your work. So you're going to continue that moss stitch design, that moss stitch pattern, repeating row 2 until your work from the beginning measures approximately 26 inches, or until it measures your desired length. Okay, once it reaches 26 inches, you're going to fasten off your work and then weave in your ends. Okay, so now you will have worked the body of your blanket worked in this moss stitch, and you will have worked approximately 26 inches or your desired length, and you have this solid square piece of fabric. We're now going to begin working on the edging of our blanket. So with the right side of your blanket facing you, or whatever side you would like, because both sides will look relatively the same with the moss stitch, you're going to join your yarn with a slip stitch in the top right hand corner stitch. And then you are going to chain 1, and you're going to work a single crochet in that first stitch, and then in each stitch and chain space all the way across. When you come to your corner stitches, you are going to work 3 single crochet stitches in that corner stitch. You will then turn your work so you're working along this rough edge, and you will evenly work approximately 115 single crochet stitches evenly along this rough edge. If you need to add more or less, that's okay. Just remember how many you've added, because you'll want to add the same number to the other side. Then you will work 3 single crochet stitches in the next corner, single crochet along each chain space, and single crochet stitch along the other end, and then work another 115 up the other side of your blanket, the other rough side. When you come back to that first corner, you're going to work 2 single crochet stitches in that first corner and join with a slip stitch in that first stitch. At the end of round 1, you will not turn your work. Okay? I'll let you work on that and meet me back here when you're ready to start round 2. At the end of round 1, you're going to work those final 2 single crochet stitches in your corner stitch, and you're going to join with a slip stitch in your first single crochet. For round 3, you're going to chain 1, and you're now going to simply work 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch all the way around, working 3 single crochet stitches in each corner. Now that you have worked that sort of foundation round of single crochet stitches, it will be much easier to place your stitches. So just work 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch all the way around, working 3 single crochet stitches in each corner. When you come back to your first stitch there in round 2, you're going to join with a slip stitch in that first stitch. At the end of round 2, you are going to join in the first stitch with a slip stitch, and then you're going to chain 1 and you're going to turn your work. Now for round 3, we're going to start working those puff stitches. So you're going to start by working a single crochet stitch in that first stitch and a single crochet stitch in the next stitch. You're then going to work a puff stitch. To work your puff stitch, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, and drop a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to do that for a total of 4 times. So that was the first time. You're going to repeat it, yarn over, insert your hook in the same stitch, yarn over and drop a loop. You'll have 5 loops on your hook. Repeat, yarn over, insert your hook in the next in the same stitch, yarn over and drop a loop. That's the 3rd time, and you will now have 7 loops on your hook. 1 more time, yarn over, insert your hook in that same stitch, yarn over and drop a loop. Once you have a total of 9 loops on your hook, you're going to yarn over and draw through all of those loops on your hook. You're then going to single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and then work another puff stitch. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and drop a loop. Do that a total of 4 times. Once you have 9 loops on your hook, yarn over and draw through all 9 loops, and then work 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. You're going to continue that all the way around your blanket, while in each corner stitch you're going to once again work 3 single crochet stitches. So all the way around your blanket, repeat that pattern, single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, and then puff stitch in the next. When you come to your corner stitch, work 3 single crochet stitches in that corner stitch. You're going to repeat that all the way around your blanket. When you come back to your first single crochet stitch, you're going to join with a slip stitch in that first stitch, chain 1, and once again turn your work. At the end of round 3, you will have joined with a slip stitch in that first stitch, and then when you turn your work, you will see that these puff stitches appear on the opposite side of your work, which is now on the front of your fabric. Now what you're going to do for your final 2 rounds, you're simply going to chain 1 and repeat round 2 and single crochet in each stitch, each single crochet stitch and each puff stitch all the way around, working 3 single crochet stitches in each corner. So you're going to do that for a total of 2 more rounds. At the end you will join with a slip stitch and fasten off your work and then weave in your ends, and at that point you will have completed your Peek-a-Boo baby blanket. So thank you so much for joining me once again. The free written pattern can be found on my blog at richtexturescrochet.com. Thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, happy crocheting. Bye.